Welcome to 10 Minutes With. It's a podcast for people who want to listen to podcasts but don't have all day. We've got a quick chat with someone you might be interested in learning more about in about 10 minutes. Mark Gungor has spent years making husbands and wives laugh and understand each other better at the same time. His seminars are equal parts marriage counseling and comedy show. He's the author of multiple books, including his best-selling Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage, and today's guest on 10 Minutes With. If you, Mark, sat down with a couple, maybe you and your wife with a couple that you didn't know for dinner, what would be something you could see that would make you smile and say, this couple, they've got a good thing going for them?
Well, one is if they can laugh together. One of the first things that goes south when a marriage goes south is joy disappears. Everybody's sour and grumpy and upset. If a couple's still laughing, there's life.
I think that sometimes in a stressed time of life, one of the most beautiful sounds is my wife's laughter, like the real laugh. We have real laughs and fake laughs sometimes. But the real one.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, you get that.
The real thing. The real thing is very powerful and energetic. And here's the thing, is things don't have to be good to be able to do that. Joy, real joy, is not dependent, particularly from a Christian point of view, on your circumstances. Your circumstances can be absolutely horrible, and you can still have joy. It's not dependent on, there's people who are insanely wealthy. They don't have any joy. We need to learn to keep the joy and realize that even though your circumstances are bad, you can still have joy in your heart. And the big mistake is a lot of people make is they think that marriage will make them happy. Marriage was never designed to make people happy. Marriage was about building a life together and having a family. You should be happy in the first place. I tell single people all the time, look, if you're a lonely, empty, miserable soul, for the love of God, stay single, because marriage was not designed for you. That's not what it's about. We need to learn to be happy in the first place. There's a university that did this study on smiles. University study the student mistakes on Earth. But what they did is they went and found old college yearbooks and rated the people with the best smiles. When they got done, they took the 10% of the best smiles and went and interviewed these people now years later. They were stunned by the findings. Now, these were not Christian universities. These are typical American pagan universities, full of typical American pagans, all right? And what they were stunned at how successful these people were. And what shocked them, and it caught my attention because of what I do, they said there was not a single one, now think about this, of just typical American pagans in this group, not a single one of these people with the best smiles had experienced a divorce. That was fascinating. They said the correlation is so powerful, you could literally predict the marital outcomes of people based on their pictures as children. Now, this isn't about smiles. They may not have any teeth at all. But the reality is it's people who are happy. They are content individuals. They don't need somebody else to make them happy. They don't need circumstances to make them happy. They are, in fact, happy. Now, what an indictment against us as believers. We should have the joy of the Lord. For heaven's sakes, we should be the happiest people on earth. You say, well, my circumstances are awful. Well, you can still have joy because joy comes from God and from within. Don't live in the world of I'd rather be. Oh, if I only had, a better house. Pastor, if I just had a new car, I could be happy. Pastor, if we just our appliances hadn't broken down, I could be happy. Oh, Pastor, if I had married this idiot and married the other idiot, I'd be so much happier. No, your happiness is not dependent on that. Your happiness should be totally independent of your circumstances.
Wow, that's a word right there. Amen. And it's hard to apply, but it comes down to
right
for commitment, right? Like that's not about feeling good or feeling committed.
No, man. And people say, well, that's easy for you because you're later in life and you have some degree of success. We were like this. I got married at 18. People say, why did you get married at 18? Because it was against the law at 17. I'd have got married earlier if I could have, And the reality is we had nothing. We had to look up to admire the poor people. We were at the bottom, and we were insanely content and very happy. We laughed. We celebrated life. We celebrated Christ in our lives. So it's not about stuff. It's about in here. And if you're trying to fix in here with outside, it's not going to work. We can help fix your marriage, but your joy needs to come from something other than just that.
Wow. So what's a little thing? Because obviously we could be talking about big issues here, but sometimes big things change with little things. What's a small change somebody could make if they realize, like I know I am at times, I'm guilty of this? What's a small change?
Don't expect everything has to change before you can be happy. The very thing I just said. One of the typical things is couples expect everybody to be like them. If you really love me, you'd be like me. The big argument in marriage is one argument. Why can't you be like me? Because we all expect everybody to, well, they're not like you. They don't look like you, thank God. They don't talk like you. They don't process like you. They're not you. So stop expecting be someone else like you. And I think that's a big mistake.
Well, and then as far as it goes for men and women, for husbands and wives, the Bible doesn't give either one an easy out. Like, this is not a relationship where everything is on one person or the other. It is a team effort, even though there are unique calls for what a husband and a wife are to do in a marriage.
Exactly right. I wrote this book called The Beatitudes of Marriage. And it's a play off the word Beatitudes. I break it in half. They're be attitudes. The attitudes you should be. And I talk about you need to be happy. You need to be content. You need to be patient. People have no patience today. Oh my gosh. I get calls all the time. Pastor, we've been married for 12 months and we're in hell. Pastor, we've been married for 6 months and we're in hell. Worst call I ever got. Pastor, we've been married for 2 weeks and we're in hell. I think, seriously, it should take you years to get to hell. How can you get to hell so fast? These are people who have no patience. No patience. They want it changed right now, immediately. It takes a while to get this. One of the last chapters is be dead. Jesus taught us, to die to ourselves. And what's the main reason people are upset in their marriage? Because they can't get what they want. And as Christians, we're supposed to die to ourselves. The reality is not everybody gets everything they want. God doesn't even want you to get everything you want. The reality is God wants to kill you, not the physical you, but the selfish part of you.
Yeah.
And there's no more perfect relationship designed to kill you than marriage.
Wow. Whoa.
Because you can't do it and stay selfish.
Right.
Every marriage ends for only one reason. Only. You listen to people, they got 37 different reasons. Blah, 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 blah. No. There's only one reason. Somebody gets selfish. It's the death knell of relationships. A successful marriage is, this isn't about me. It's about us. It's about you.
My co-host here in the mornings, one thing he always comes back to, because it's something God showed him so powerfully after God put his marriage back together, is anytime I'm unhappy or mad or grumpy or things aren't going well, things are wrong in my life, I take a look at myself and I say, did I get the order wrong? The Jesus, my wife, and then me, not putting it out of order. And he says basically every time, if he takes it back to that, he realizes, oh, nope, I put me at the top. That's where I've got this wrong.
Exactly right. Jesus said, if you're going to be my disciple, you have to pick up your cross and deny yourself.
What do you see from the date night that encourages you with couples? What do couples bring away from date night?
That they're just as screwed up as everybody else. And there's a lot of healing in that. I mean, everybody's laughing. And if you look around, people go, oh, I guess this isn't just us. We all struggle with this stuff. I think that's the main thing, that we're okay. And I just try to get people to understand each other. I don't try to change anybody. Now, you're doing bad stuff, you need to change. If you're committing adultery or something, that's a whole other ballgame. So I just try to get people to understand why they do what they do. Because if you can understand why people do what they do, you don't get so frustrated. And, a lot of these relationship things, they beat up on men, way too many. Men need to be more like women. No, we're fine. We're not broken, twisted perverts. We're just men. Get over it already. Actually, I spend more time trying to get women to understand men, and they love it. The men love it, and the women love it as well. So anybody who's thinking about coming to this thing, say, I don't want to go because it's going to get out. No, it's not going to be like that. I'm going to get people both to understand each other. Because if you don't understand why somebody does what they do, it'll make you mad. So let's say you're at this station today, and somebody's being really grumpy and short and mean, and you just want to slap them upside the head. And they say, gee, what's wrong with Fred over there? He said, oh, his grandma that raised him died last night unexpectedly. Oh, so now what happens? Everything changes. Does Fred change? No. Did you change? Yeah. Why? Because you know why Fred is acting the way he acts. But when you don't know why, it'll make you mad. And most couples have no idea why their spouse acts the way they do. And I try to get men and women to understand why they, in general, react the way that they do. Men and women are not the same. I have people coming, they're married. They said, I was on the verge of divorce and I heard your talk and I got saved our marriage. And I'm always stunned by that. I think, really? Something I said saved your marriage? Really? They say, yeah, because I didn't understand my husband. I didn't understand my wife. Now I get it. Now I get it. So I quit getting so angry all the time. So my whole thing is have people come away with aha moments. Oh, that's why she reacts the way that she does. Oh, that's why he's off in his own world and doesn't want to listen to my world. That's why. Then it makes sense. All I'm trying to do on these date nights is get people to understand why their spouse does what they do.
Yeah, the power of just, like you said, an aha moment where things click and you can see somebody differently, that's healing. Yeah.
It really is.
That's awesome.
Here's the problem now. We're not supposed to judge. You know what judging is? Judging is when somebody does something and you don't know why they do it, and you give the reason why. And it's almost always bad.
Ooh.
Why is he that? Because he's a jerk. You don't know that. He might be having a bad day. You don't know why they're doing it. Don't be assigning motives to what people do, because we start judging each other, and that's where we get ourselves in trouble.
You just showed me I'm guilty. Wow, Mark. Thank you, sir.
We're
for
all
that.
guilty, man.
Thank you for that, sir. I didn't have a name for it, but that's what I've been doing, is judging. Because I say, well, I know why you did that. You did that because you thought that you did. Wow.
Yeah, exactly right.
Ouch.
And it spirals out of control in our minds.
Well, I got something I learned, a little aha moment of my own. I can only imagine how much a date night is full of. I'm so excited to have these 4 date nights across New York and Pennsylvania.
Very looking forward to it.
Family Life presents Date Night with Mark Gungor, April 30th through May 3rd. Shows are coming to Milton, Pennsylvania, Lockport, New York, Trucksville, Pennsylvania, and Clarion, PA. Find tickets and more info at familylife.org. You might also consider supporting Family Life, the listener-funded ministry that makes this and other podcasts possible. Go to familylife.org to find out more about what we do. Did you know Family Life offers a variety of podcasts? Get up to date with Family Life news or enjoy some family time with Family Life kids. There's If That Makes Sense, a Family Life original podcast talking about what life is really like as a Christian in your 20s and 30s. And Therese Talk, a podcast with help for women to better serve their families and community. They're all free and on demand at familylife.org. Just click podcast in the radio menu.